himself his own statue just for killing mosquitoes has got me thinking that if a person could come up with a better way to kill bugs, they could not only get rich, they'd probably get a lot more dates. So I thought I'd take this week's Handyman Corner, show you how you can tell the insects to bug off. All right, this thing here is called a fogging machine. Hope that came out right. And the way that works is you fill her full of pesticide, and then you blast out this toxic crap, killing out all the mosquitoes. Now, the problem with this is that if you kill all the mosquitoes in your whole area, you're probably also going to take out every other form of life. So instead of that, I say we just concentrate on the mosquitoes that are flying in your face and biting you in places you thought nothing ever would. So get yourself one of these aluminum lawn chairs and an electric drill and get busy. There we go. And now I can go out, and even in the worst mosquito weather, I just sit down, get comfortable, turn on my Mosquito Fogger, which is hooked up to the chair and runs through all the holes. Just give her a couple of seconds to kind of warm up, and pretty soon that insecticide fog is gonna... And, you know, I'll tell you, the beauty of this system is you don't have to put any insect repellent on, so you don't have to worry about taking toxic chemicals into your skin. Yeah, all right. For those of you who are allergic to the ragweed or the pollen or the DDT, you might want to go with a mechanical solution to the problem. You know how the horse has a tail on her there, and they flip that around, and it kind of pushes the bugs away. And then in Australia, they got the hats with the corks on them. They flip them around to keep the didgeridoos and the wallabies off their billabongs. Well, you can do the same darn thing by taking one of these patio umbrellas here and a washing machine. And all you do is hang your various little trinkets here on the edge of the umbrella and then hook her up. There we go. I got all my doodads duct taped to the umbrella, and I got the umbrella duct taped to the agitator of the washing machine. She's all set to go. Let's give her a try. Well, there it is. And people are going to be talking about you all over town. They'll say, why, it's just like a flicking horse's behind, or words to that effect. So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Uh-oh, spin cycle. Welcome to Handyman Corner, where everything old is new again. You know, old man Sedgwick's badger problem has given me an idea for an inexpensive animal trap. All right, now for starters, you're going to need one of these hoses here, which they use to connect from the dryer to the outside vent, and you're going to need the outside vent. You're in luck, though. Both of these things are available in most home laundry rooms. I would suggest that you wait a few minutes after the last load, let the whole rig cool down, because these things do have a way of building up a certain amount of heat, especially if you're doing, say, a living room rug or your winter underwear in there on the heavy-duty cycle. All right, now the first thing you got to do is you got to cut the hose in half, which actually you can do by biting. You may find that there's a wire in there, apparently, so I would suggest that to avoid being permanently flossed, you either use somebody else's teeth or maybe some snips of some kind. There we go. All right, now, if you got one of these welcome mats out in front of your house, get that out of there before it does any more damage. And you're going to roll that up, because that, in fact, is going to become the cage to hold the trapped animals. Kind of the way welcome mats are used at the homes of life insurance salesmen. All right, now you take your outside vent thing here. You want to hook that up to one of the halves of the dryer hose. And the way you can connect those, kind of interesting. They have these little plastic hose clamps. They're unbelievable things. They just slide, one slide piece slides into the other. You pull that up like there. And by golly, that is solid thing. And then you just wrap that around the hose. All right, let's open that up a little bit. All right, I'm thinking maybe this is not the best way to attach the whole unit together, so. No. I decided to use the Handyman secret weapon, duct tape. So there's our trap, pretty much built. But you can't just have it sitting out in the woods like that. You gotta be sneaky, like those guys from the tax department. So I decided to take a page out of Old Man Sedgwick's book, hide the whole trap inside a pair of pants. There. Put it in there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on, little fella. Let's go. Let's go. And the animals aren't going to be suspicious because a pair of pants lying in the woods around Possum Lodge is a pretty common sight. There we go. However, they are going to need some sort of a culinary incentive to come up the pant leg. So I would suggest that you swipe an hors d'oeuvre tray from the next social function your wife drags you over to and pick one of these units up and separate the toothpick from the hors d'oeuvre itself. Then you take the pant leg, as I've done here, and you stick the hors d'oeuvre up inside, and you push the toothpick down through the pant leg, through the hose, and into the hors d'oeuvre. You do one of those every few inches, and the animal will work his way all the way up until you get to the danger area, which is the crotch of the pants, because that's where the welcome mat cage is. And you want to use men's pants on this because if you happen to catch an animal that you don't want, you can just unzip the fly, lift the welcome flap, and let the little guy go, like they did in that movie, Free Willy. So until next time, happy hunting, and remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Excuse me. Well, with this big thing coming through town and everybody and his brother getting out there to take a boo at it, I thought I would use this week's Handyman Corner to show you how you can rise above the crowd, literally. Because when you go to one of these public events, like a stock car race or a mock lynching or a post office fire, you don't want to be standing there on your feet for minutes at a time. But the trick is, how do you get your chair to be 6 feet off the ground? Well, you get yourself some of these inner tubes, lay one of them down on the floor, lay another one on top, and attach them together using rubber cement or elastic cord or, that's right, a Handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. All right, once you got the duct tape on there, just take one of the inner tubes, stick her right on top there. All you gotta be careful of, you wanna make sure that you line all the valves up, and you grab another one, get it right on there, as I say, get those valves in there, and then grab another one. Same deal, same nothing new here. Push that down, oh, get there. Now you take your chair, get that right on top, and seal that up. All right, now you sit down and you start pumping, you get a whole new perspective. Now, all right, I've got her now. We'll just disconnect that one and hook the hose onto the next. I guess I could probably stand up and do this. Oh, no, there we go. There we got it. All right, pump up the next tube. Okay. Yeah, okay. You should have thought of this. You see what's wrong here? You should have started pumping up the bottom inner tube first, not the top one. What are you gonna do now? Well, you're gonna take all the air out, start all over again. And done. Well, what do you think? I'll be able to see everything. Ain't nothing's gonna get in my way. I'm looking right over people's heads there. I'll see for miles. I'm up here, comfy as heck. Can even peel myself a snack while I'm waiting for the big thing to go by. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Uh-oh. There's nothing to see here. Keep moving. Nobody likes unwanted pests and animals invading their house. That's why there are so few family reunions. Actually, I'm talking about the four-legged kind now. Mice, raccoons, bears, that kind of thing. So I thought I'd use this week's Handyman Corner to show you how to detect whether or not you have an animal problem. Now, you know, everybody's house is different. Your living room might have a completely different decor. But it doesn't matter because the signs of animal and insect infestation are pretty much the same. For example, take this beam here. See, we got some termite damage in here. And if we let this go, this thing could eventually become a write-off. So the first thing we want to do, we got to kill all the termites. All right, not only killed the termites, probably took a pretty healthy bite out of the ozone. So now what you want to do is take a couple of boards and strap them up on either side of the beam, and this way you restore its original strength. All right, okay, that was my fault. I should have duct taped that. Well, doesn't matter though, we got lots of other beams holding the building up. But I think maybe somebody should keep an eye on that, you know, from time to time. Could be kind of dangerous, I guess. Could be. No, it's fine, it's fine. You know, you may have some rooms in your house that you hardly ever use. You know, like a fitness room or maybe a guest room or a library. You might want to check them out every once in a while. Could have some unwanted visitors there. You know what you're looking for, eh? Droppings. Now, I hate to say the word droppings on television, but it's a lot better than the other terms. Now, if you're looking for mouse droppings, they're kind of like those tart topping things. And you got the rabbit droppings are more like the chocolate-covered raisin unit. And the raccoon droppings, that's a bigger candy bar yet. Actually, if you find enough droppings, it'll cure your sweet tooth. Oh, my gosh. All right, quite a quantity over there. And it looks like we've had maybe a herd of Shetland ponies up in this area. Anyway, if you do find droppings in your house, that's a pretty good sign that they're sneaking in somewhere. The animals are coming in through a hole. You must have some hole somewhere. If I didn't know better, I'd say we had a wall missing here. So you want to check around the outside of your home for cracks and holes the animals could be getting in. Like, see here where this mortar has fallen away from between these stones? Well, that hole's big enough for a mouse or a bat or even a raccoon if they're moving fast enough. Like, say, they bounced off the fender of a speeding vehicle. But, you know, some of this is just surface wear, right? Doesn't go all the way through, doesn't create a problem. So you got to find out if the hole goes all the way through. The way you do that is get a little bit of water, pour that in there, and then if you get water showing up in your basement that doesn't seem to be water that was there, you know, before you did the test, well, then you've got a problem. So what you want to do is check your whole house for any kind of crack or even the smallest tiny hole where animals could be getting in. Because I'll tell you, you know, you do that until you run out of water or you get bored out of your mind. But if you got animals living in your home, you're much better to deal with them right away than to, you know, let her go for a few years to the point where they get established and start fighting you for use of the bathroom, you know. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. And of course, a fire is a good way of getting rid of mice too, you know. But I'd only use that as a last resort. And you want to wait till the water dries. This week on Handyman Corner, we're going to show you a few things you can do with your clothes dryer during those regular 3 or 4 month hiatuses between laundry day. I'm sure a lot of our viewers make the model planes and you get painting them up with that special lacquer on there that looks so good, but it's very, very hard on the eyes and so on. Wouldn't it be nice to have a nice place to dry those in? Well, I suggest that what you do is take the spinning drum out of your dryer, put some shelves in there, and you can just lay the planes or whatever in there, real nice. You got the heat, it's dust-free, and it'll take the fumes and push them right outside into your neighbor's yard. So I suggest you just set the control on the delicate and run her for about an hour. Oh, no, that is interesting because I had specifically asked Harold to remove the spinning drum, but, well, he's either forgotten or maybe he got too busy Simonizing his head. So what we're looking at here is 3 years of model building down the tubes. Oh, I'm glad they weren't mine. All right, I'll show you something else that you can do with your dryer, but for this one, we definitely have to remove the spinning drum, which is no big deal. Usually it's got some screws on the back here, or might be some wing nuts, or not a big job. Maybe it's the locking clips on this No. Maybe you got the sliders. Oh. Well, I guess she's probably just a press fit. All right. Where we are now is what we call the point of no return for a handyman, where in order for me to continue trying to get the spinning drum out of the dryer, which is more trouble than it's worth, I have to make the conscious decision to take this personally. Basically, what I'm saying is, this is my dryer. I own this dryer. I can do whatever I want with this dryer. Whereas what the dryer is saying to me is, oh, no, no, no. You stupid, burnt-out old man. There's no way you're getting anywhere near my spinning drum. And to me, this is an attitude that requires an adjustment of significant proportion. Alrighty, I didn't get everything out. I left the motor and the belts and stuff. I don't think they do much. I got the drum out. That's the main thing. Now what you want to do is you want to take a marker of some kind and you want to draw a hole on the top here just about the same size as your head. Or if you got a small head, I guess you could draw it the size of your hat. And once you've done that, now you take off all your clothes and get a jigsaw. No, 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 no. Get a jigsaw and then take off all your clothes. Not making that mistake again. And what you want to do is cut that thing out, because your head's got to pop through there. When you come back, be naked, we'll have some fun. Okay, so what you have is your very own high-fashion Swedish sauna. You just turn on the heat, and it'll sweat the worries and the pounds away. And by golly, it feels awful good, and if you got a lint filter there, it'll even clean out your belly button for you. So you set the setting on the dryer to whatever suits your style. Maybe you're normal or delicate, or maybe hot, fast tumble is the way you go. Personally, I'm a permanent press kind of a guy. So I'm gonna have my sauna right now, but you keep this in mind. The women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Well, Dr. Hatfield is corralling all the fireflies in the area. I thought I'd show you how to handle some of the other bugs that we get up here. I'm assuming you can still kill insects without offending a lobby group of some kind. All right, for starters, what you want to do is to combine a couple of fly swatters with another common household kitchen appliance, the rat trap. Now, don't worry, this isn't occupied. This is Moose Thompson's sock. Probably got nailed trying to raid the fridge. All right, first thing you want to do is to attach the fly swatters to the rat trap using the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. All right, now I got the fly swatters attached to the rat trap, and now I gotta just bait it. What do they say about honey attracts flies? All right, now we wait for a fly. Harold says there's a fly in this box over here. Ah, I see. All right, well, that's my fault. I'm the one who trusted Harold. All right, so the fly comes flying in. Lands on the trap. Oh, got it. That is great. Might want to stand well back on that. Now, for those of you who like to kill bugs, say 100 at a time or so, I'm going to show you how to make a gigantic fly strip. What you're going to need are some of these peel and stick floor tiles that you got left over from that kitchen project where you measured wrong, multiplied wrong, converted to metric wrong, and then didn't let your wife choose the pattern. All right, now you're going to need something to stick these things onto to become your fly strip. Something big. I'm thinking window. Right, no. I'm thinking door. There we go. This thing will catch the bugs on their way in or on their way out, depending on how clean you keep your house. All right, this becomes your fly strip, and now what you got to do to make that all work is put the floor tiles on, sticky side out, using a staple gun. Boy, these things really stick. This is going to work great. Oh, man. Always good idea to have extra tools and extra clothes on this project. Or, you know what you could do is to staple all the tiles on first and then peel the backing off. Yeah, that would work. Learn from my mistakes. Somebody should. Another tip, you might want to leave the sticky stuff off the bottom couple of feet of the door if you have a dog or a little kid or something. Now, this thing will work great and everything, but it's a little passive for my taste. I like something that uses power, so I'm thinking electric bug zapper, huh? And what you're going to need for this is one of these old beds, because you want the metal spring out of the bottom, and you're going to need yourself a roll of chicken wire. Now, I've wrapped the chicken wire all around the old metal bed spring so that none of the bugs will be able to slip through the cracks. What you want to do is to hook this whole rig up to the biggest power box you got in your home. I'll tell you, the neighbors will have something to talk about here. If they can hear themselves or the sound of bugs frying. Remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Let's see if we got any flying pests around here. Boy, that works great. Kind of an odd smell, though. I could open up one of them Cajun restaurants. Mosquito cooking.